I'm Lowell Thomas. I happen to know a little about radio stations, having been on the air for more than 35 years, and on this unique station for more than 20 years. And the name of that station, WJR Detroit.
The Detroit Free Press signed on WCX May 4th, 1922. And soon to share 750 was WJR, the Jewett Radio and Phonograph Company. Detroit auto distributor G.A. Richards bought time and quickly learned how well radio could sell cars. Richards eventually bought the stations, boosted the power, and brought the biggest orchestras from around the country to his auto showroom in the General Motors headquarters. WJR moved to 760 in the 30s, attaining clear channel status and 50,000 watts. The orchestras, dramas, news, and sports were now heard outstate, and WJR was leading the way in new media. WJR has always been the great voice of news and information, traveling near and far to bring balanced coverage to the big stories.
Our news director, Frank Tomlinson, in Vietnam.
Last year, I spent 5 weeks in Vietnam, much of it with Michigan's Governor George Romney.
4 days in July, 1967.
Here comes a Jeep loaded with about a half a dozen young GIs.
8,000 National Guardsmen and a beleaguered force of city and state policemen are trying to bring peace to a city at war with itself this morning. Although deaths in this monstrous outbreak of looting, shooting, and burning are few, the toll of wounded has passed 800 and arrests total approximately 1,000.
The fact of the matter, however, is that law and order have broken down in Detroit, Michigan.
It's not for sale. This news is brought to you by Franklin Bank. Good morning, 42 degrees at 8 o'clock. I'm Dan Streeter in the WJR News Center.
WJR has always been the great voice of news. Here's News Director Dick Hafner.
WJR News has won, over the last several years, a number of Edward R. Murrow National Awards, Investigative Awards, Society of Professional Journalists, UPI, Associated Press, State and National Awards, and we won a Peabody Award for an investigation into bite mark evidence which freed several wrongfully convicted prisoners. That one even got onto the front page of the National Enquirer.
Paul Harvey. Good day.
WJR is the great voice of sports. Hockey, football, baseball, basketball. We've covered it all. And now the voice of Michigan State Athletics.
Touchdown! MSU! The Spartans win! The Spartans win!
What JR has done for Michigan State is incredible. I think whenever you're trying to get a top-notch program going, you want to surround yourself with quality and class people. And you want to surround yourself with the best. And there's no question, WJR is the best. And just happy that we're on their team.
The Detroit Tigers on 760 WJR.
Well, I had 25 very pleasant years at the WJR broadcasting Detroit Tiger baseball. Wonderful experience to me, and I benefited from the great signal that the great voice of the Midwest had. We got all over the country. We got mail from Puerto Rico and wherever you wanted to go. It was a great signal, and it was a wonderful station to work for.
Now Cash steps out a moment, back into the batter's box. Lazard looks in to get his sign. Here's the windup, the pitch. There's a long drive to deep right. It's out of here. A home run by Norman Cash. And the Tigers have tied the game at 1-1 here in the sixth inning.
760 WJR.
And the great voices of mornings.
Storyteller Bud Guest, the secretary of the Sunny Side of the Street Club, and announcer Charlie Park.
Morning. You remember the big problem? The big problem, certainly. We have big problems every morning, Monday through Saturday.
Well, the one that I was referring to was the one we mentioned just the other day about which way the water goes down the bathtub drain.
Oh, that's colossal. That's
north and south of the equator.
Now, here's an example of WJR programming that's also pretty unique.
Nicky Lane is back with us again today. Nicky hails from...
Vocalist Jack Harris and guest, along with Jimmy Clark and the boys. Unique? But you know, a live orchestra isn't something you find around many stations these days.
Okay, let's be away. Here we go. Oh, when the Saints come marching in, when the Saints come marching in, hey, I want to be in at their number.
You'll find that kind of carrying on every day here on WJR.
This is a day of mixed feelings around here because it's the last day we'll be broadcasting from Studio D, as we tomorrow's sort of a limbo day. We'll be walking around on the streets kicking stones and looking for a studio because we shut down this floor and Monday move into our new studios up on the 22nd floor. And so this is it for Studio D today, this venerable old place. This old studio is full of memories and ghosts. They used to do the live drama shows here back in the 1940s and even before. The most famous of which, I guess, was the Hermit's Cave. It's Turn Out the Lights on Sunday night. That's the way it began, too. The Hermit would come out and say, "Turn out your lights. Turn them out." Because we're going to present to you some weird stories. Ghost stories. I know. That's about the way it went, too. And I'm not sure how any of that stuff would play today.
The stars, the newsmakers, the people who make things happen. For years, we built a tradition talking to the people you would want to talk to, asking the questions we hope you would want to ask. Well, today, that tradition continues with your host, Paul W. Smith.
Wow. What throw me a left hook, why don't you, Michael?
I like your smile. Hello, hello. Shall we talk a while?
And it happens to be not only our birthday, but one of our sponsors of today's show, Special Day. And in fact, the president of Fifth Third Bank, Pat Faring, is on the other end of our line. Pat, good morning, and thanks for the support through the years here at WJR.
Frank Beckman Show live from Vegas, back in studio next week, as we said, 9 to 11:30 every day, keeping you the best informed audience in all of radio. Have a great weekend, everybody. I'm Frank. Later.
We are, of course, at WJR, tremendous supporters of this great city, very aware of the problems that we've had.
You're not just supporters, you define the city. I mean, you guys, that's one of the great things about WJR. Few radio stations can do this, but WJR is Detroit.
This is horrible because not only do I, have to feed you, I have to feed every staff member you have in Congress.
Listen, we're tired of feeding at the public trough, and now we're turning to you.
My name is Mitch Albom. I'm the host of this program. Yes, I am the same guy who wrote the book Tuesdays with Maury, if that's what you're wondering, and the same guy you see on ESPN Sports Reporters. This is my day job. But we do have a great musical act with us. Earl Klugh, terrific one, is here with us. Give him a little something, Earl.
Right after we pause for station identification.
The great voice of the Great Lakes, WJR.
This is WJR, the Goodwill station in the Golden Tower of the Fisher Building.
Radio 76.
Hello, Detroit. You've won my heart. Your Renaissance and waterfronts give you a flair of your own.
Detroit is the auto capital of the world, and WJR is the great voice of automotive. And the company we keep?
Paul W. Smith has access to all the top auto executives. He routinely gets the CEOs and the chairman of all the major auto companies on his show, frequently all at the same time, which is interesting. And no other radio station can do that.
WJR stands ready to serve the community.
I want to congratulate WJR for 85 years of providing this as a public service. One of the things that WJR has done is to provide me specifically a forum for communicating with our citizens through Ask the Governor, which is featured on a regular basis. And I know it's been an award-winning program, and I certainly believe that it is a great way for me as governor to be able to engage our citizens and communicate. I want to thank WJR for the leadership that we have come to expect high atop the Fisher Building.
Whatever may come, The world keeps revolving, but to me it seems quite clear that it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
WJR continues to lead the way in ratings, revenue, and relationships. The great voice of the Great Lakes is waiting, listening. WJR, 85 years strong, and still just right for Detroit.